This is real life, not Wall Street, but Main Street. A real show on what's really involved with starting and running a business with all the ups and downs. Our guests will answer your questions and provide you with valuable information. Stay tuned and join in the conversation.
When the earth was created.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for sticking with us and welcome back. Remember, you can look us up on Facebook at Jack Miller Down to Business. Jack Miller Down to Business, not .com. That's on Facebook. Oh, you know what I'm going to start doing, everyone? I'm actually going to start having an elevator pitch segment. I'm going to be inviting different new business people who want to raise money on the line. Every week, I'm going to try to get someone to pitch an investment for 2-3 minutes. I think that'll be interesting. So I just thought I'd let everyone know. Anyway, Bob, let's talk a little bit about college savings, college planning. What's the best advice to that? Because the price of schooling is just outrageous. And I have to tell you, as a sidebar, I finally have all my kids out of school. They went to private schools their whole lives and college. So I feel like an elephant is off my chest. I love my kids. Kids, don't feel bad. But it's a wonderful feeling once you get to the other side. But to get to the other side is not easy.
And I'm on the other side, too. I got 3 boys, all went through private universities, one UM, $50-some-odd thousand a year, $500,000 for 3 kids to go through college. So that's a very important thing. And I want to differentiate between college planning and savings and college funding. It's 2 different things. College savings is I've got 2-year-old, 1-year-old, 3-year-old, and I'm saving for someday 10, 15 years from now.
That's me.
There's you, okay?
Yep.
That's college savings. Figuring out how to save enough, which may not ever be enough.
Correct.
All right. The other is college funding, and that is my kids in high school, freshman or sophomore. I've saved up $20,000, and they want to go to UM, and it costs $55,000 a year. What am I going to do? All right. So what I do is I have a company. My company, by the way, is Complete Financial Inc., and the phone number is 954-577-1913. But college funding is helping families with kids in high school figure out how they're going to pay for college. And that comes down to understanding the financial aid process and understanding need-based and merit-based financial aid and how to get it. Like anything else, whether it's Social Security, paying taxes, Medicaid, or anything else, those who get the money are those who know how to get it, not necessarily those who need it the most. Got to realize that, like I said, we talked about Social Security. So when it comes to college funding, it's helping prepare a student to maximize the amount of aid and get colleges to bid for them. You don't go into a car dealer and just write a check for the first car you see, that car you fall in love with. You get them to compete for your business. Colleges have everybody believing that you have to compete to get in and all that, but you could really turn it around on them and have them compete to give you money to come.
I wish I would have known you that. So
everybody says that.
That's another service you provide?
It's another service I provide.
And I have news. I remember when my kids were in like 11th or 12th grade, we met the school college counselor. And she didn't say that. So they should call you at that point too.
Freshman year, ideal. Sophomore year.
Gotcha. And start doing that. Gotcha. Okay, so give out your contact information one more time, because I think a lot of people ignore these issues, and I don't think they should, because it sounds like it could cost you a fortune.
954-577-1913, or my website, CompleteFinancialInc.com.
Okay. We talked before. You're married, right?
Married.
What's your wife's name?
Rhonda,
thanks for sharing your husband tonight. He did a great job. And send them back to us again. Bob, thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. Whoever, you're welcome to stay the rest of the show. Whoever got that extra $4 or $5 grand, tell them I'm excited. Refer people to Quick Liquidity.
I have a question. Just while we were on that subject, I actually have 2 questions. First, on college, 529 plans versus like prepaid plans like they have here in Florida. What are your recommendations, and what do you usually tell clients?
Prepaid is great. They just cut the cost in half. It was up to like $46,000 for a newborn a couple years ago, and now it's roughly half of that. Governor Scott cut it. That's a great program. If you think your kids are going to go to state schools, there are actually some schools out of state that are reciprocal. 529 plans are not guaranteeing anything, but it's a great savings vehicle on a tax-deferred basis. Pay for college. There are other ways to save for college as well, one of which is cash value life insurance. which offers a whole slew of benefits. It retains control in your hand. Kids don't go to college. You could use it to start a business. You die, it provides funding. There's a lot of ways and you can get comparable savings there.
That's the best way to pay for college. Just drop dead. Use your life insurance.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
But you could use the cash in the life insurance to pay for the college 15 years from now.
All good stuff. I have another caller on the phone. Wanda, could you patch Chaim in?
Hi, Chaim.
Hey, Chaim, it's Jack Miller. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on.
My pleasure. Okay, world, you have on the phone the one and only Chaim Shapiro, who is a LinkedIn instructor. Is that a good explanation of what you do?
I think that's a great way to describe it. And what I do is, my full-time job, I work in career services at Touro College in New York, and a significant amount of what I do is help the students prepare for jobs, and LinkedIn is an integral part of that process. But in addition to that, I work with private clients on a very regular basis.
So before we start, because I have a lot of questions about LinkedIn, I'm an avid LinkedIn user. I think everyone needs to be an avid LinkedIn user today. I want to tell everyone, Chaim, I am so impressed by you because I don't really know you that well. Somehow we're Facebook friends, and you strike me as such a family man. I always see pictures of you and your daughter and your wife, and it always puts a smile on my face, and you always have such a positive attitude. So I have to tell you that.
Well, thank you so much. I want you to know my wife and my daughter are my life. There's nothing else that even comes close to it, and I'm always happy to post the positive things. And we talked offline about some negative things the last time that we spoke, but things, thank God, are doing very, very well, and I'm glad that I have a family, and I'm thankful for that, and I'm thankful to be able to to come on your show and talk about LinkedIn and the kinds of things that people can really do to make themselves more efficient and use their LinkedIn even better.
So LinkedIn, it seems, is, at least for me, an essential way to communicate today. And I just have like a list of questions that I'm just going to rattle off to you if it's okay. And if there's anything else or if I'm off the mark, you can jump in. But what do you think the best use of LinkedIn is today? In other words, a lot of people are using it for sales leads or to get jobs or just general. I know I use it just to generally stay in touch with people that I don't stay in touch with that much. And
right. So I'll tell you, I think one of the mistakes people make is they think there's some kind of LinkedIn magic, that as soon as they're on LinkedIn, all of a sudden all these incredible things are going to happen without any particular strategy or action on their part. And unfortunately, like all good things in life, it takes work and it takes effort. So when I meet with private clients and even when I meet with students, the first question I ask them is, what is it you want LinkedIn to do for you? For my students here at Touro, the vast majority of the time it's for job search. So we work on their profile, we work on identifying potential contacts, coming up with strategies for engaging those contacts. In addition, probably about 25% of my clients are business people looking for sales leads. And we talk about, again, having a professional persona and profile on LinkedIn, but also how to use the advanced search capabilities to be able to identify potential leads and sales leads, and then how to bring those home.
Gotcha. What makes for a good profile and what makes for a bad one? I'll give you an example. When I look at a profile, I look at the depth of it, the recommendation, how long they've been on their job, whether they've had publications. You can kind of get a feel for someone. But then I see some people, and it looks every 6 months they have a different job, and
right.
Or they have no recommendations, or it just doesn't look deep. So what makes what should someone be putting on their profile? And I don't want to say not putting on their profile, but what things shouldn't be people putting out there?
Okay, great question. So let me start from the beginning when it comes to the profile. Generally, when it comes to social media, they used to talk about the New York Times above the fold and below the fold. That above the fold, people in the news box would see, and below the fold, you lost about 75% of the message or people that would see it. So I think the further down you go on LinkedIn page, the less likely is that somebody's going to read it. So you definitely want it to be deep in case somebody has particular interest in following up, but you want to lead off with your absolute best stuff. Recently, LinkedIn allows you to include a background banner, and I'm not seeing a lot of people take advantage of this. For me, I'm trying to promote myself as a social media expert and a speaker, so if you look at my background banner, you'll see a picture of me next to a flip chart that says social media speaking to a crowd. because to me that promotes my particular brand. Okay. In addition, I think a professional headshot photograph is exceptionally important. I just saw someone with a picture yesterday with their wedding picture on there, which again, I'm a family man. I understand, but that's more of a Facebook thing. This is the professional picture. What would you look like if you were going to a networking event in your profession, and that's what you want your professional headshot photograph to really look like? Another one of the biggest mistakes I see is people don't take advantage and use the headline. The headline right below your name, you have about 120 characters that shows up everywhere you do on LinkedIn. When your name shows up on LinkedIn in a search or on emails, basically it's going to show up with your name, your picture, and this headline. And the default headline is whatever your particular profession is. Assistant Director of Career Services at Touro College was mine. But what I've done with that is taken it and said, this is what somebody needs to know about me. This is my LinkedIn elevator pitch. If you know nothing else about me and all you see is my picture and 120, 130 characters, this is the information I think you need to have. And I think every person needs to do that for their own account. But again, it's going to be very different for each person, but come up with the things that they absolutely need people to know. Because, look, if somebody sees your profile and they don't click on it, you've gained absolutely nothing.
You're right. I didn't even. First of all, I have to confess, I didn't even know you could put a background, and I don't even know if I have a headline under mine. I'm going to go home and check.
I'll check yours later also if you like.
I appreciate. You know what I see people doing, and it strikes me as a mistake. I don't know what your thought is on it. It's sort of out of line. Is when people make political comments on LinkedIn or sort of out of character. I saw this guy I know who's a professional, and he was at a ball game, and he had beer in his hand, and nothing wrong with that. It just sometimes I kind of get, at least for me, Facebook is the social side, and LinkedIn is the professional side. And sometimes when you see people on LinkedIn make like goofy comments, or they hate this political person or that political person, I don't know. You think that's dangerous, or you think that just?
Well, I do, and I think there's a couple things to separate out here. First of all, LinkedIn is completely professional. So, I'm a huge Blackhawks fan, but the fact that the Blackhawks just won the championship this week is showing up absolutely nowhere on my LinkedIn profile. Okay? Now, I have that on Twitter and I have that on Facebook, and I'm happy to have those in those places. When it comes to politics, I think there's another danger zone there. Now, if you're working in politics, obviously it makes sense to put politics on LinkedIn. If you're not, and you try to promote yourself as a LinkedIn consultant, for example, I stay away from politics on LinkedIn and on Twitter, and for the most part on Facebook. You never know who's going to get upset at what you post, and you might think that it's the most obvious thing in the world, and you're supporting whomever it is that you support, but I can almost guarantee you there are other people who have a very different view of that, and are going to look at it negatively and look at you differently because you posted that. The exception, again, would be if you're actually working in politics.
Oh, I agree, especially today. It seems our political climate's so divisive that you're either like for or against me. People are just, at least on my Facebook page, I have some crazy right-wing friends who are just out of their minds. They don't think they are. And right. I have an equal amount of crazy left-wing friends who are out of their minds. And it just seems that it's becoming, the divide is becoming more, right. And in business you should stay away from it.
100%, because all it does is create enemies. Then even the people who see it, who think that they like what you have to say, are not necessarily going to go to you specifically because of that. But, actually, one of the big problems with the divisiveness in politics, I actually considered a career in politics when I was in student government as an undergraduate, and I didn't go into it because of how divisive it is. I didn't want to subject myself and my family.
Chaim, I have to interrupt you for a second. Sure. We have to take a hard break, a traffic break. You'll stay with us for a few minutes?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Wanda, all yours, my dear.